Hello and welcome to NYSS West Haven. I'm Dominic Konoweski. On the line, we have West Haven Blue Devils varsity football head coach Rich Boshea, known around West Haven as Coach Bo. Mr. Boshea, what an amazing season the football team has had. 8-1 so far as the team enters their final game of the regular season tomorrow night for the Thanksgiving Bowl. What are your thoughts so far with an 8-1 record?
Well, if you're a coach, you always think about that one loss. But it was a tough overtime loss to Hamden. Hamden's a pretty good team. They're in the playoff picture themselves. But it always stings when you lose in overtime. And it was only 6-6 at the end of the game. So I wish we had kicked the extra point or made a few more points. But we didn't, and the kids resiliently fought back after that. They didn't hang their heads, they didn't feel sorry for themselves, and they found a way to win the next 7 and put us in this in this playoff picture the way they have. It has been a great year, and we have a great group of kids.
Yes, a very great year so far, and the group of kids that West Haven has is some of the best in the state. Of course, top 25 Connecticut high school football player Keyshawn Togba is on the team, and then of course you have Joe Hawkins, who also plays defense. And then in the QB1 slot, you have a freshman, Nick Conlon, who I feel like has blown everyone away expectation-wise. I mean, yes, he does not throw the ball a lot, but his football IQ seems to be off the roof.
It certainly is for a freshman, and he had to really learn everything because it wasn't an offense he played in Seahawks or Pop Warner or anything. So his intelligence, and yes, you're correct with that, his football IQ is incredible, and so are he's got a fearlessness about him. He's not scared during the games, and believe me, it's a big jump when you go from playing Seahawks to varsity SEC football. And he's taken the challenge on well, and he's really, really done a great job running the offense.
Yes, I agree with you 100% there. Now, West Haven playing tomorrow night at home Thanksgiving Bowl against Fairfield Prep. Right now, the team's undefeated at home, 5-0 in the win-loss column. Overall, since 2004, the team is 60-24 at home with multiple undefeated seasons, but they have not gone 6-0 at home since 2004. So what do you think the team really has to do to pull off a win against Fairfield?
Well, first thing we have to do is not let the cold bother us. If the cold bothers us, then we'll be home the day after Thanksgiving instead of being at practice. And then the next thing we have to do is line up correctly, know our alignment and our assignment, and execute what we're supposed to do. The pass rush is really important because Prep throws the ball well, and we have to block well because we have good running backs, and if we get them in the open, they're going to do some good things, but we got to get them in the open.
Yeah, and West Haven, 100% a running-centered team, averaging above 280 rushing yards per game. Fairfield only 125 rushing yards, but then when it comes to passing, you got Fairfield with 175 on average, and West Haven only about 45 on average per game. Now, the last time that the Devils beat of Fairfield was back in 2016 at home, 28-21, and West Haven comes in as only a .2 underdog. This is going to be such a tight-neck game. Both of these teams, of course, two great teams, playoff bound. What is it like coming in, yes, as an underdog, but only a .2 underdog?
Well, I didn't know they were putting lines out on the high school games, but they're a good team. They're ranked ahead of us. They've played a tougher schedule than us, so that makes sense. They only lost to Greenwich. Greenwich is a very good team, and they beat some very good teams. And we beat a couple of good teams ourselves, and we've gotten better. Everybody had to learn the wing tee, and we've done as well as we could. That 2016 game was a big game, and we were already in the playoffs. Unlike this time, I think we basically have to win to get in. If we lose, I think we're going to have a lot of problems getting in. The ball's in our court, though. It's up to us. If we do what we're supposed to do and we win the game, then we don't have to worry about what other teams do.
Yeah,
if we don't win the game, then we're sitting here Thanksgiving wondering if Hamden's going to beat Notre Dame, if St. Joe's going to beat Trumbull. So there's a lot of other factors, but we control our own destiny, and we want a nice cold windy night that makes it hard to throw and catch, and then we want to play some hard West Haven wing tee running game football.
Yeah, overall, you got the CIAC Class AA standings very tight net right now. You got West Haven with the 5 seed, but that could easily change with the loss. Now, overall, historical-wise, since 2004, West Haven loses an average of the last 2 games, but overall, this is a totally different team. This is the best football that West Haven has played since really 2017. Across a different team, but for the seniors, so many big seniors. You got Dante Salvatore, of course, missed the season with an injury. You got Joe Hawkins, though, Keyshawn Togba, and many, many others. A lot of key players are leaving after this year. How important is this game tomorrow night?
Oh, it's very, very important. And, you know, the seniors deserve it. As sophomores, they got beat up a little bit. We didn't have a very good year, and Joe and Toga played. They were only sophomore linemen, which is tough to do in this league. And they got gypped out of their junior years, and then they came in their senior year and had to learn a whole new offense, a whole new way of running things. And they really committed and worked hard, you know, keeping them with all the different situations with COVID, keeping them in the weight room and working hard and together as a team was difficult, and we couldn't have done it if we didn't have good senior leadership. So those guys did everything they could to make sure everyone was where they belonged to be, learning as much as they could, and not fooling around in practice. We really have a good group of kids. They're very high character kids.
Yeah, leadership is everything, no matter what. By the end of the day, it comes down to the head coach, which is you, Mr. Boshea. An amazing coaching record, no doubt about that. As of right now, 41-22. You could get your 42nd win tomorrow night, which would push you 20 games above 500. Very experienced. You've seen few Blue Devil teams come in and come and go. How hard is it to coach high school football? You're not able to do any trades. You're not able to sign free agents. You get what you get, essentially, and you can't really get upset. You got to make what you get.
Well, we have a very good feeder program here. Mike Last and a bunch of guys run a very good program with the Seahawks and the Pop Warner team. So we have a good pipeline of players, the minor leagues, whatever you want to call them. I mean, Nick is a perfect example of that. 2 years ago, he was playing for the Seahawks, and now he's starting freshman in a basically a double L playoff game Wednesday night. So that's what really helps me get these kids here. You know, the guys who run our Seahawks program don't make kids quit football. They don't run them too much. They don't make it a miserable experience. So we get a lot of good players, and from there, it's just keeping their nose in the books, keeping their butts in the weight room, and making sure that they do everything the assistant coaches tell them to do. We have to always mention my assistant coaches, the guys that really do the real grunt work here, really work hard. Coach Tom Unker's done a great job in the weight room, has done a great job with the offensive line. Mark Main's done a great job calling plays. Tim Nixon's done a great job teaching the running backs the wing tee. Mike DeVito's done an awesome job with the receivers, which is a lonely position here, and the outside backers, and really working with the defense. And Mark Ecke has done an incredible job helping Tom Unger and DeVito with the defense. So he coached the defensive line. So when you see big Jermaine Galloway bearing down on a quarterback, it's because Coach Ecke's been working hard with him.
Yeah, and how important do you think defense is going to be in this game? I mean, overall, the West Haven's defense has done an amazing job so far this season. I cannot stress that enough. Only an average of about 12 to 13 points allowed per game. Fairfield Prep's defense allows about 9. So, like I said, going to be a very close in the game. Do you think that this is going to be more of like a kicker's game? We're going to see a lot of field goals and punts on both sides? Or do you think that the Blue Devils are going to run it down a few times and score a touchdown?
Well, I'm hoping for that. Certainly, we don't punt a lot. We have a very good punter in Raul. He's a good punter and a good kickoff man and a very good field goal extra point kicker. So we have full confidence in him. I just don't like punting much. So we do as little amount of punting as possible. I think we punted once in the last 2 weeks. I don't think we punted against Notre Dame, which is a good team. Maybe we had one, but I don't think so. And it's if it comes down to the kicking game, that means it's a close game, and I'll take a close game right now for sure.
Yeah,
faith our guys will find a way in the end.
Yeah, 2005 was a very close game. It was a win for West Haven against Fairfield, away at Fairfield, a 7-6 win. Hopefully, the West Haven is able to pull off the win, and it's not as close as that 2005 affair was.
I'll take a 1-point win if possible, but I would prefer it not be. Yes, you are correct on that.
Yeah.
I started coaching here in 85, so I've coached in every Fairfield Prep West Haven game. We started playing in about 96, and it's been a very good rivalry back and forth. If we win tomorrow night, then in the last 6 years it'll be 3-3. Right now I've lost twice to them, and they beat us 3 times, and they really, really beat us up 2 years ago. Well, now 3 seasons ago. 2 seasons ago, 3 years ago, out here on Thanksgiving morning, and that was really a black eye on our team. And I'm hoping maybe this win tomorrow could wash that away.
Yeah, hopefully it can. Now, what do you have to say to the Fairfield Prep coaching or Fairfield Prep players going into tomorrow's game?
I want to tell them they don't need the game to win. They don't need to win the game to get a home game in the playoffs, so they don't have to try that hard. As a matter of fact, fumble a couple of times on purpose.
Yeah.
Another SEC team in there.
Yeah, hey, that wouldn't be bad if Fairfield has a few fumbles. Now,
that'd be fine with me.
Yeah.
They're a good team. They're well coached. They have good players. They wouldn't be 9-1 if they didn't. And Prep has a great tradition. And there's nothing really negative to say about them, other than they're in our way for where we want to go, and we aren't really in their way. So just it's fine if they let us have a few, especially if there's a line on the game. Maybe they could make a little money.
Yeah, maybe. Now, a final question. Team is coming off of an off week. Did not play last week. How important do you think that is? Able to watch a few extra hours of tape and get in some extra practices?
Yeah, it's always a little tricky. You don't want to overwork them and you don't want to underwork them. But I think it was worth it. I think we heal up a little bit, and we even went a little longer because our last game was against Cross on a Thursday night. But I like playing the Wednesday night. It's the first time we'll be playing on a Wednesday night, and I like it better than playing on Thursday. And my reasoning was that generally this game has playoff implications in it, so it used to be really tough to play Thursday and then be back Friday for practice for a game on the following Tuesday. So I said, why don't we just play Wednesday night, and then we can kind of recover on Thanksgiving and then come back on Friday. And I think it was the right choice. I think it'll be a well-attended game. I think it'll be a good game. And I just hope we come out with the win.
Yeah, according to my
as well as they can play. I hope we play as well as we're able to play.
Yeah, I think West Haven's going to do great. Porsley has done amazing at home so far this season, and when it comes to attendance, from my sources, it's projected to be well over 1,000 people attending, so that would be huge.
Good. They're going to enjoy it. it's going to be a great high school game. Two teams that are two good teams playing, and I think anybody that comes to the game tomorrow night is going to enjoy it and leave here happier for doing it. And then they can go to Randall's afterwards.
Yeah, great game, great tradition. Folks, this was West Haven Blue Devils varsity football head coach Coach Boshea. Thank you for joining us here on the New York Sports Show.
Thank you.